Good morning, students. So let's continue with the chapter that is issue of shares. Yesterday we had seen different kinds of share capital, that is authorized, issued, subscribed capital. Under share capital itself, we also have called up and paid up capital. So what do we mean by called up capital? Called up capital refers to the face value which is called up by the directors from the shareholders. Say for example, if the company has issued shares of 12,000 shares of 100 each, but the directors have called at only rupees 60 each, then the called up capital will be 12,000 into 60, that is 72,000. So whatever amount is called by the directors of the company from the shareholders is known as called up capital. We also have paid up capital. Paid up capital is that portion which is received from the shareholders. Sometimes what happens, the shareholders may not pay an amount of calls. Such is known as calls in areas. Say for example, if the shareholders have paid only rupees 5 instead of 10, so paid up capital will be called up capital less amount of calls in areas. So always remember, paid up capital is called up capital minus calls in areas. What is calls in areas? Let me explain you again. The amount which is unpaid by the shareholders is known as calls in areas. And there is one more kind of capital, that is reserve capital. So who will have a reserve capital? An unlimited company having a share capital while converting into a limited company will have a reserve capital. So reserve capital is nothing but a portion of increased nominal capital or uncalled share capital which shall not be called up except in the event of winding up. So there may be the capital which is not called up by the directors. So it is only called at the end of winding up. Such a capital is known as reserve capital. Next, there is another topic which is known as capital reserve. Capital reserves are those reserves which are created out of capital profits. Capital profits are those profits which are not earned in the normal course of business. So the reserve which are created out of capital profit is known as capital reserve. So how can it be created if it is not a normal course of business? It will be profit on sale of fixed asset, profit on revaluation of fixed asset, premium on issue of shares or debentures, profit on forfeiture and reissue of shares. All these are the profit which is earned and it will be created as capital reserve. So where is capital reserve shown? It is shown on the liability side of balance sheet under the head reserves and surplus. So what will be the difference between reserve capital and capital reserve? So reserve capital is the portion of increased nominal capital or uncalled share capital which will not be called up except in case of winding up. But capital reserved are those profit which are created out of capital profit such as sale of fixed asset, profit on revaluation, etc. Then reserve capital, it is not necessary to create a reserve capital. And in case of capital reserve, when there is capital profit, it is compulsory to create a capital reserve. In case of reserve capital, a resolution is required, but no resolution is required in case of capital reserve. In reserve capital, it is the amount which is not being received. And in case of capital reserve, the amount is already received. Reserve capital is not shown in the balance sheet. Capital reserve is shown under liabilities under the head reserves and surplus. Clear? So this is the difference between reserve capital and capital reserve. Next we have issue of shares. So shares can be issued in the following way: by private placement of shares, for public subscription of shares, and for consideration other than cash. So first we have is by private placement of shares. So sometimes what happens, the company will not invite public to subscribe for the share but make private placement of shares such as to their promoters, their friends, relatives, mutual fund, NRIs, financial institutions, etc. So when the shares are not offered to the public for subscription but are made privately, it is known as private placement of shares. Okay. So under private placement of shares, there is a topic which is known as sweat equity shares. So what do we mean by sweat equity shares? There are some companies which, rather than giving incentives to the employees, they will give their company's share at a very lower price. Say for example, if the company is giving to the outside public for rupees 10 per share, they will give their employees for rupees 3 or rupees 4. So when instead of giving incentives, the company is giving shares to the employees, it is known as sweat equity shares. So what is the meaning? It means equity shares issued by a company to its employees or directors at a discount or for consideration other than cash for providing know-how or making available intellectual property rights. Clear? Next, we have public subscription of shares. Under that, we have following steps, that is to issue prospectus, to receive application, to make allotment of shares and to make calls. First one is to issue the prospectus. Prospectus is an invitation to the public to purchase the shares. It will describe the profitability and soundness of the business of the company to attract the investing public. So in your project work, all of you all have downloaded a prospectus of company. So that prospectus will give us the financial statements, the profit of the company, the name, address of the registered office, SEBI guidelines, authorized and issue capital, everything will be mentioned in the prospectus. So the first step the company does is they issue the prospectus to the public so that the public will know what is the profitability of the company and will want to invest in that particular company. Next is to receive application. So under this stage, the public will apply to the shares offered by the company by paying the required amount, which is known as application money. The application money amount will be mentioned in the prospectus itself. So the amount of this application money must be deposited with the scheduled bank. The name of the scheduled bank will also be mentioned in the prospectus. After that, the next step is to make allotment of shares. So there is a last date for paying the application money. After the last date for the receipt of application of money is over, the directors will decide to whom the share should be given, in what quantity should it be given, and for whom it will be rejected. So the process of giving, granting and rejecting of share is known as allotment of shares. But the company cannot proceed to allot the shares unless minimum subscription which has been mentioned in the prospectus has been received by the company. Now what do we mean by minimum subscription? It means the minimum number of shares to be applied by the public to shares issued by the company. So whatever shares has been issued by the company, there should be a minimum amount of shares which has to be applied by the public. Only if that minimum amount has been applied by the public, the company can make the allotment of shares. So the minimum amount of subscription will also be mentioned in the prospectus. So what is the minimum subscription usually? It is 90%. Whatever is issued to the public is the minimum subscription. So what happens in case the company does not receive the minimum subscription? So if the company fails to receive the minimum subscription, the company cannot proceed for the allotment of shares and the entire application money must be returned in the next 15 days. If the company fails to return in the next 15 days, they are liable to pay the interest of 12% per annum for the delayed period. Clear? So if the minimum subscription has been received, whoever has been allotted the shares, the company will send them a letter of allotment indicating the number of shares allotted and the right amount now due on allotment. And the last step is to make calls. So after the allotment of shares has been done, the company can demand the whole amount of shares from the shareholders. It can either demand it in one installment or in one or more installment. So these installment are named as first call, second call, third and final call. So whenever the company makes a call, a letter has been sent to the shareholders asking him to pay the amount called on that call. The letter of intimation is known as call letter. So this call letter must specify the amount of the call, mode of remitting money, address to which call money is required to be sent and the last date for sending the money. Clear? So these are the steps in case of public subscription of shares. So tomorrow we would be seeing what are the entries on the issue of shares and then start with the problem. So that's all for today. We shall be continuing the remaining problems in the next class. Thank you.